Hello, welcome to another edition of Inside Jokes RV. This is yours truly, Joe Shelton. One of the last editions I did on the YouTube channel, I talked about some things that I wanted to do better this upcoming season. And one of those issues was being able to package and prepare food when planning trips. And one of my dilemmas that I had was not my refrigerator that's in my travel trailer. It only comes on when I'm connected to 110 power. It's not connected to my battery, and I don't have solar. So one of my dilemmas was not having power to the fridge. And so I've been contemplating, I've been asking questions in other YouTube, Facebook forums and online, watching videos to see what other solutions that people have come up with. And I think I've finally come up with a solution. And I'm going to tell you what that solution is right after this.
Me and my RV. Me and my RV.
All right, here's the current little mini fridge that we have in my travel trailer. It's probably 3 cubic feet, 3.3 or something like that cubic feet size fridge. And as you see, there's no freezer. So that's a dilemma when I wanted to prepare meals, and you maybe keep some things frozen while keeping some things cool. This was a dilemma, and I didn't realize that, I didn't ask, I thought maybe it may have been powered by the battery that controls the lights, but then I found out that it doesn't. It only works when I'm connected to 110 power. So I want to do better this next season, and I want to be able to prepare meals and be a little more efficient as far as keeping food and food prep and making things easier when it comes to RV trips and traveling. So my first option was, I was thinking, okay, maybe I need to get one of those portable freezers. And so I started researching portable freezers. Here are a few that I started looking at right here. And looking at them, yeah, they would, it's something you could plug into your cigarette lighter of your vehicle, and the reviews of them, they work really well. You can have one side as a refrigerator and one side as a freezer, and it worked really well. It can keep a solid block of ice cream frozen solid hard. You plug it right into your cigarette lighter and you're good to go. Or then if you got to a shore power, you can plug it into a regular 110 volt and you're good to go. But those things on the cheap end were like $300-400, and I just like, okay, will I be using it that much? And then if I got that, then what do I do with the current fridge that I have in the travel trailer? So, could I get one of those portable freezers? Can I remove this portable refrigerator from the travel trailer and replace it with that portable freezer? Probably could. Probably could. I'm pretty sure I could find something that size, but the size of those units were $500 and $600 to fill that whole space that I currently have right now for the refrigerator. So, and then I thought about it, how often would I use that? The money that I would do it. Now, if I was full-time or something like that, maybe. But how often would I use that? And then I was really paying more money for something I already have. And so economically, it didn't really make sense for me to go out and purchase another unit freezer-wise when I have this. So that sort of scratched that out. Then I thought about the second thing. I thought about, well, maybe I can look into some type of solar source or buy another battery that could power the fridge that I have while I'm traveling. Maybe I could just hook up something that can keep this refrigerator cool while I'm traveling. Then I started looking into the cost of solar panels and the cost of those batteries and how long would those batteries last trying to keep this refrigerator cool and operating. Then, you got, you can go, I didn't look all the way down to how many watts and all that stuff I needed to exactly, but it, on the cheap end, you was almost looking at the same cost as the portable freezer and refrigerator that I just talked about. So then, if I got solar for the current unit I have, then I don't have a freezer on this particular unit that I have. So I was still at that crossroads. Okay, I still don't have the ability to keep food frozen. So that sort of scratched out that. Then I posted all this questionnaire on a Facebook group of Black RVers and Black People Camp 2 and asking questions. And I started to be able to narrow down what I wanted to do. So first of all, I took the measurements of the current unit that I have. I took those measurements, height, width, and depth. And so then I started searching this regular big box stores about, is this the sort of a common size of a mini fridge? All right, after researching and got all the size width, I ended up going to Lowe's. And Lowe's had a unit. It wasn't a Whirlpool. It was a Hisense, I believe, that fit the same measurements as my travel trailer. It was the same right height, the same width, and the same depth. But that was $200. Okay, but you see the difference between this one and the one that's currently on. I have a freezer, have a separate compartment. Yeah, you lose a little space having a freezer, but I think that's well worth it. So at Lowe's, this unit was $200. Being a frugal person that I am, I end up going on to Facebook Marketplace. And I searched for about a week. And about the second week, this one popped up. It's a Whirlpool. And the lady was asking $150 for it. So right there, I was already sold, because I was saving $50, and this was brand new in the box. The only thing wrong with this fridge was, I guess during shipping, that little ding right there is the difference. So it was still in the box, still in the plastic, everything. It just had, I guess, something in shipping and got that little ding. So she was selling it for $150. And I was able to talk her down to $130. So right there, I saved $70 just from a brand. This is still brand new. I took it home. It's been plugged up for a week. It's working perfectly. Freezer works perfectly. I put some stuff in there and it froze it within a couple of hours. The freezer has a light in it, and I'm ecstatic. So, and what makes this deal even more beneficial to me, the old refrigerator that I'm thinking it might have had some special connections and anything that I was going to have to cut some wires or something like this. I'm going to take this old refrigerator and I'm going to take this and put it in my office as my office mini fridge, because this is the basic little mini fridge that you'll find in any little office or dorm room. So I'm going to take this refrigerator out and reuse it in my office. And now I'm going to replace it with this one. Now I'm have the ability to have a freezer, and I think this is a little better quality mini fridge. It also has a light in it. and freezer. So now what do you say, how am I going to power it? This is what I figured out. Of course, once I install this new fridge here, I'm going to, of course, when I'm running on shore power, I'll come out and I'll plug it in here. That's no brainer. But when I'm getting ready, of course, I'll have it plugged up, already cooled down. So when I get ready to travel, I'm gonna come in and unplug this from right here. I'm gonna drill me a little access hole right here, which is right here on the inside of the RV. Little panel. I'm gonna drill, so I'm gonna take this plug, stick it through here, and the last thing I'm gonna purchase to actually put all this together, I'm gonna purchase a power station. A Jackery power station, or one of those type of, maybe the 500. I need to research which wattage will allow me to keep this refrigerator running for a few hours while I'm traveling, until I get into a plug-in situation. So it made sense to me to do it this way, because number one, I'm killing two birds with one stone. I needed an office refrigerator, so I'm going to repurpose the refrigerator that's already in my RV, take it to my office, take this one with the freezer, replace it here. And I always wanted I needed a separate power source, because I don't have solar. I do have a generator, but sometimes, you know, you want that other power source. If you just, without turning on your generator, you just want to plug up your phone or something when you're sleeping over at a Walmart or Cracker Barrel somewhere. You want it somewhere just to have some type of power source. And that Jackery, that was already on my list to purchase anyway. So it made sense to do it this way. So the Jackery will power my new mini fridge refrigerator while I'm traveling. So now I'm gonna have to do some tests to figure out how many hours of charge will that run, that will keep that refrigerator charged. So if I'm traveling 3 or 4 hours, I know I could travel 3 or 4 hours and start plugging it up. So even worst case scenario, even if the charge dies out on the Jackery, the fridge and the refrigerator is still going to stay cool and frozen enough, you know, for me to get in somewhere and to plug in to get it back up going. So long story short, I found a solution. It's economical for my end, and I'm repurposing. I'm not buying something that I already have, but I'm putting something else to repurposing something that I needed in another situation. And the Jackery is something that another purchase that I was already planning to put on my to buy list, and I think that's going to sort of tie everything all together. So now all I have to do is just remove this fridge, slide the other one in. I did all the measurements, everything seemed to work to fit the same, and we're going to do that right now. All right, let's try to slide this out. There were 2 screws in the back that I had to remove, so this should just pull straight out. And there it is. Pretty sweet and simple. Now, I'm just gonna go get the other one and slide it in. The other one, I don't know, right off bat it seems wider, but my measurement's right, it should be all right. All right, here's the new one. I got it halfway in. Pretty good fit. Now I think I gotta do some little adjustment with the hinges over here. But, and the good thing about this one is it has a little light. So I'm losing a little space, refrigerator-wise, but that freezer is huge. And probably what I'll end up doing, I probably will still have a cooler just for like drinks and beverages, you know, and put ice and something in there for those. But just having this space up here to freezing your meats and vegetables and things like that, and you just take out and throw on the grill is huge for how I plan to camp. So man, that is a perfect fit. That is a perfect fit. Let's look on the other side. Here's the back side. Now the only thing I have left to do is, there were these 2 screws. I probably want to put a couple of screws or a couple of brackets right here to this, just to keep it from sliding and shifting any during travel. The other one had 2 screws like right here drilled into the frame of it, so I'll do that and plug it right here. And the last thing I'm gonna do again, like I said, when I'm in shoreline, I had it plugged up here, but when I get ready to hit the road, I'm gonna put a hole right here so this cord can come out, and I have my Jackery sort of sitting right here, and be plugged in right here. That way the fridge and freezer can be cooling while I'm traveling. All right, so I'll get that Jackery probably in the next month or so, and I'll give you a real world how it's working for me once we get out on our first trip for the season. So my solution to that was this item right here. This is the Rockman, the Paxis 500 watt power source. 500 watt power source right there. I'm trying to see, and I'll put a description. Amazon. Off Amazon, put a description and a link. So, what I do, the main thing is already have your refrigerator already plugged up, charging, and then load it up with everything you can, so the refrigerator will be set temperature while you're on shore fire. So the last thing you do is last thing you want to do is keep the refrigerator plugged up until the very last minute. Put whatever food you're going to put in there while you hooked up to shore power. So it get to its temperature and get the food that's in there cooling down, and use high power doing that. So right as soon as we get it ready on the road, once I unplug it from shore power, I come here and I pull my little access cover off. I unplug it from here. I drilled a little pilot hole, and I'm gonna clean that hole up, make it look a little neater. I stick my extension cord, the cord cable through here, and I plug it in right there. Of course, I turn it on, and so far, at 100%, this has gone at least 6 hours, or 6 to 7 hours. As long as I drove was about 6 hours, and it only got down to about 43%. So I'm pretty, and that's powering just the refrigerator. So I'm pretty sure I could probably drive 9. This probably could power that refrigerator for about 9 or 10 hours. Just, you know, again, making sure I've been pretty mild temperature. It's been relatively cool. And again, the food that I put in there was already frozen, so I didn't put any food that needed to be frozen. I had already pre-frozen, so I'm pretty sure I can get up to about 10 hours supplying this. And what I do once I get to my destination, I hook it and I plug it up and let it charge back up to 100%. It takes about from 43% to get back up to 100. It takes it a while. It takes about 5 to 6 hours for it to charge up. So as soon as I lay it down for the night and plug it up, it's back at 100% to get the next stage of your trip. So that's my solution to keeping the refrigerator powered while traveling. And this is my first trip, and man, it made a huge difference in just already having all the shopping done. And when you pull it up to the campsite, all you're doing is just going to your refrigerator and cooking. Previously, I had to wait till get where I was going, and then go to Walmart, then go get the food, and then all that could be a little time, especially if you've driven for several hours. But that's the issue. That was my issue. That was my solution. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share to the channel. Leave me some comments in the chat box, and we'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Me and my RV.